The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
His voice and height entraps his whole frame, disguising his condition even though the human eye never misses its focus. These two prime factors have made Bill Kaunda achieve quite a lot at the age of 23 years.
My name is Bill Kaunda. I'm a fourth-year pharmacy student, and currently I'm also the chairperson of the Pharmacy Student Association of Kenya. I'm also serving as the organizing secretary here in MKU, as the organizing secretary for the MKU Research Club, and I'm also the founder of MKU Special Needs Association.
A surgical error led to his current state, as a slip-up occurred in the emergency room which cost him his leg.
My disability came about as a result of post-traumatic, post-operative trauma. It was a surgical error that rendered me disabled.
A surgical error?
Yes.
So what happened?
Okay, this happened back in 2005. I was actually infected with what we call tetanus. It's about because we were playing all this playing, and I got injured. When I was rushed to hospital, the first precaution was not taken, which is vaccination against tetanus. And with this, it led to my bones being eaten away by the virus, and as a result, this is it right now. Yes.
Coping is not just an ideological term in his dictionary, as it is a cultured part in his system that has helped him since time immemorial.
How do you cope with this disability?
Okay.
From the beginning up till now.
I think it has been a systematic journey, and the growth, the coping has a lot to do with yourself, believing in what you want and not getting deterred from it. No matter what happens to you and what people throw at you, you just believe in yourself and you keep the fire burning inside you.
The post-operative flow, which still lingers in his mind, triggers his emotions at times, even as he finds a way to compromise the fault at large. Kaunda's major aspiration in life was to become a legal counsel, but life did not have that in store for him. After his life-changing moment, he changed the course of his career and went into pharmacy.
You don't blame the doctors at any one point?
Okay, yeah, I blame the doctors, and but they always say human is to error, so at some point the blame cannot be carried for a lifetime, and being a baggage, if you make it the baggage that the doctors did this and all that, I accept it's the word of life, the strings of life, and when something like this happens to you, you must just step up and move on.
Yeah. So that is what inspired you to now venture into pharmacy?
No, actually, I was more of a law-oriented guy. I wanted to be able to understand the law very well so that I can be a representative of the law. But pharmacy was a newfound love. When I could not get into law, I decided to join pharmacy.
Okay, so since you mentioned law, do you understand your rights as a person who has a disability? You understand?
Yeah, I do understand.
Quite well.
Yes.
Can you point out maybe something that you understand?
Okay. A person with disability has a right to total inclusion. There is the affirmative action that is in the Constitution, which says that in every institution, every workplace, there must be at least a person who has disability. There must be a youth and there must be a woman. The other thing is also in terms of the Constitution, the government has set aside slots for representation in the Parliament, in the National Parliament, and also in the county parliaments.
Experts approve that this new profound love of pursuing a different course can have minimal risks included in it, as Kaunda wants to help the society due to his experience.
Bill wants to become a doctor because his disability was brought about by a misdiagnosis. Are there any risks that are yet to be expected because he has made this career decision?
Wow, I like him. He already knows what he wants, and we find many people have built their careers out of the situations they have gone through, and somebody maybe decides they are going to stop that suffering, and I hear him completely. However, I feel that if he is doing the career because of probably compensating, then he needs to go for career counseling.
According to Bill, persons with disabilities are not fully represented, even though the law states that this should be the case. Thus, the society at large is required to put persons with disabilities at the forefront for them to feel wanted.
Yeah.
So do you feel quite represented?
Okay, I cannot say that we feel quite represented because it's a progressive process, and there has not been that a good voice to help us echo this concern about special needs people. And with that we feel that the representation is really lacking.
So what would you like the society to know so that they can help you guys out, to engage you more in more activities for the numbers to increase when it comes to representation?
Okay. I think the best way that the society can really help the special needs people is by inclusivity, total inclusivity. I feel that what we lack as people with special needs is the opportunities. We find that even in a tertiary setting like this, not many of us are able to access it. But when you go back to the ground, the high school, you find that there are a lot of students who are in special needs institutions, but because of one or two, they cannot access the tertiary, and this becomes a problem even in looking for skilled people who have the special needs, so that they can be put in the sector of workforce. And as a result, there is underrepresentation because there is no skilling of people with special needs. Yeah.
It is approved by experts that the society tends to get it wrong in regards to having persons with disabilities fully represented.
Now, underrepresentation is a concern for many persons living with disability. Where does the society get it wrong in that regard?
Thank you for that question. This is true. There is really a lot of underrepresentation, and this is because we have really not embraced persons with disabilities as people who are capable and as people who can perform. And therefore you find there is underrepresentation in the political arena, in the religious institutions, within our leadership, or amidst our any kind of leadership that we have that kind of a challenge of underrepresentation. And so this is time that you're encouraging people to do what you're calling affirmative action, where in any organization, even in employment, we should encourage the 5% representation of persons with disability. So one of the things to do it is that we should first of all make sure that persons with disabilities are encouraged to participate in any public forums, and also they should be enlightened, they should be empowered so that they know what they should do and where they should be, and they should be given access to information. So with that, we expect that somehow we shall have a change and a turnaround, and people will see people with disability as people who are capable, and as people who can make judgments, and as people who can make decisions, and therefore they be included in every decision making.
Due to his current responsibilities as a chairperson in Mount Kenya University, he is required to move about a lot so as to extensively accomplish his duties.
What are some of those challenges that you face as an individual, be it economic, social, cultural? Which challenges do you face?
For myself, I live outside the school, and I am also the chairperson, as I mentioned earlier. I'm also the chairperson of Pharmacy Student Association of Kenya, and it requires me to move a lot around, and sometimes I need a special way in which to travel, which becomes costly on my side. There are also some...
How much do you spend?
How much do I spend? Per week or?
Per week,
okay.
Per day?
Per day I can spend close to 200 on transport. Yeah, because sometimes I need to, and I cannot go far since my legs will start aching, and it becomes a problem in the evening. So I normally use a motorbike. Kama ni saa zingine I can use Uber or that.
So kuna watu ambao mmelewana nao in society, you're like, hey, I'm stuck, would you come and help me out? So the people who will provide that for you.
Now, Bill Kaunda has achieved quite a lot, which leaves me wondering what I did with my university years. He is the founder of the Special Needs Association in the Mount Kenya University. He's also a chairman, and he's also an aspiring president of the Mount Kenya University. Such an inspirational story there. Let's take a short break. We will be right back.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Next on Plania Siri. Stories.
Caregivers play a major role in Kaunda's life, as they are at an arm's length when needed.
So about your caregivers, how much support do they give you?
Okay, my caregivers, I think they give their full. I cannot quantify it, because they give their best when I'm in need, and they're always there, and they are supportive in all they can.
Diversity and inclusion is something that should be highly considered in any environment, especially in a learning institution when it comes to dealing with persons with disabilities. But this is not the case, as Bill narrates to me about a certain situation that made him feel unwanted.
There was a time, I think back in my high school. There was the issue of, okay, we need to take a leader, and I was anticipated, like, no, this guy cannot lead because he's disabled.
So the society did not hear you out, or they did not value your opinion back then?
I think the stigma was deep, but gradually it has been reducing. We are accepting people with disability as people who are just people. Because of some 2-3 challenges in them does not mean that they are not people, and that is the culture that is slowly creeping in, and we encourage people to understand it.
Experts say that there are remedies for rejection that can help Kaunda mitigate and use it positively.
Now, rejection is such a social vice, and Bill Kaunda, with his disability, he sees that it draws him back to rejection in the society despite his skills and qualifications. So how can he mitigate these effects?
Oh, that's a very important question. Rejection is a vice, as you say, and I hear you say that Bill has a lot of abilities, and he needs to know that the person rejecting him is the one who has a problem. It is not about him, it's about that other person. And sometimes rejection may be inflicted by the person because of the situation he is in. They start imagining that probably others are rejecting them. And rejection is feeling like people don't want you, they don't want you to be in their company. That relationship you had is not there and can breed a lot of hurtful emotions. And I think he needs to mitigate these feelings by accepting the hurt, forgiving the person, and moving on with life. Yes.
Kaunda is always in for a challenge when it calls, even though it costs him at times. He keeps his esteem levels high, for he believes that a mountain is just a molehill.
I've tried always to prove that I'm capable and able. Even when the situations, the odds are all against me, I still try to rise and say, no, I'm able. And sometimes it costs me because I end up injuring myself or overworking.
Some special ointment comes in handy for him when he cannot stand the pain his leg is subjected to at times.
Are there some specific devices that you use? Maybe at times you feel like, hey, I'm tired, I need to use something to help me relieve the pain. Be it a device. Which one do you use?
I use some ointments that I apply on normal occasions, because what my therapist said is that there's some dysfunction in my neurons, my leg neurons. So sometimes it starts paining on its own. When it starts paining, I use some ointment and massage it, and
you're good to go.
I'm good to go, yeah.
He faces the same aggression when he tries to approach ladies, as they judge him for his looks, and this wears Kaunda down. But his voice acts as his wingman to save him when need be.
So how has it been for you when you try to initiate a conversation, maybe to build up a relationship? Has it been easy or has it been hard?
Okay, I feel that it has been hard a bit, because people they create a judgment by what they see, and appearance is a key matter. So when they look at you and they're like, oh, nini, so by the time you want to beat that mountain down so that you can start a conversation, it's very hard.
So there's some ladies you'll try to approach and they're like, hey, apana.
No, not necessarily.
Not in that way.
Not in that, but okay. I've faced opposition, not only in the general public. Some 1-2 people, they're looking at you like, and you see them scrutinizing you from head to toe. And especially right now, when I'm an aspiring president of this institution, it really becomes a bit of challenge walking around and selling my policies and all that.
According to Bill, society should be more conceding for persons with disabilities, and those affected are required to shine in an unequivocal manner.
Okay, since I've heard that you really have a good command of voice, maybe you could give a word of inspiration to people out there and maybe to the society.
Okay, first of all, to the society, I believe that we're all different in a way, and the best thing that you can do is accept our faults as we are and move on to better the society and better the life of others. To any person with disability out there, there is nothing that can limit you apart from yourself. The fire is in you to build yourself and build your society. And I believe you have all it takes So go out there, do what you have to do to be the best version of yourself.
Adjudication is a never-ending process in the society when it comes to dealing with persons with disabilities. Therefore, experts have expounded on this issue, citing the root cause of this dilemma.
Why is the society so judgmental when it comes to dealing with persons living with disabilities, especially when duty calls?
Thank you. We have a challenge with where we have come from, how we have been oriented. Mainly, people have thought that people with disabilities are poor, they are beggars, they are low performers, they cannot think for themselves, they have to be dependent, and that is where we are getting wrong as a society. We need to come up and realize that these people are people like any other. They have the intellectual abilities. They can make decisions, and they can make decisions that can influence the society positively. So this is where the society has not actually embraced that even though these persons have disability, it doesn't mean that they cannot reason, they cannot be rational, they cannot make wise decisions. So this is where I would encourage persons, the society, to encourage persons with disability to also be inclusive in any participation or in any forums that we are making decisions. Yes.
The human spirit is one that is filled with ability, courage, and perseverance that no disability can take away. Bill is a living proof that in the midst of all his achievements, he is only physically challenged, but he is not wounded spiritually, as a disability is just a matter of perception.